Hello, everyone. This is Xander Turon, and I am back with the Random Cast episode 51, if I haven't lost count. We're here on Mud Fight. This is a slightly older one. This replays from, December 31st, 2023. Anyway, we got here M1911 Milk Tea, who was in just the previous episode. And I replay it as actually uploaded after this one in a couple weeks back, or whatever, doesn't matter. And on the red team we have his name, I translate it, and I'm completely blanking on what it translated to. I do believe it was Chinese, is what the Google Translate said, but it's the Google Translate. Yeah. Here we go. Milk Tea has a US general deck, and the red player has a USSR general deck. Interesting matchup, the two supers versus each other. Alright, what do we got? M998 Humvees with veteran infantry, that's probably deltas. M35 is most likely Rangers. Avenger, that's just fun. Rangers isn't great, but has very good accuracy and perfect stabilizer, so if you just fast move it at a helicopter, you can potentially cause it some trouble. 2-stack of M1A2 is interesting. M2A2 with a Stinger team in it, classic combination. And USA General is like one of the few decks where I'd say, or one of the few general decks where I'd say, take a manpad team, because since the US doesn't get like an ATGM team, well, an actual decent ATGM team, not light riflemen or Cav Scouts with the Dragons. But you can take the Bradley. So the Bradley, M2A2, TOW2, it's a good ATGM. And since it's an IFE, it doesn't cost as much as it would as a vehicle tap ATGM carrier. It has decent survivability, medium optics, it's not bad. And then the Stinger team is just along for the ride, but it's a handy way of just getting more manpads on the field. Also, anyway, carry on. Patriot, so that's just good anti-plane. No anti-helo capability, though. And also, vulnerable to seed. And, expensive. M106 has 107mm mortar, AH-1J Cobra for recon, FOB, Rangers, and some riflemen of some flavor. Alright, so it looks like Milk Tea is definitely going hard for the Alpha Delta zones. Take that town there. And let's see about the red player. Looks like, just one CV from blue. Red's also one CV. Both players have a FOB. And what do we have from the red player? K52 and the Mi-28. Usually if you're pairing the helicopters, it's the K50 and the K52, but the Mi-28 is not bad. It carries a lot of ATGMs. They're not horrible. Good range. Good accuracy. Stabilizer's not great, but AP power's fine. Autocannon's perfectly decent. Doesn't carry a lot of ammo for it though, but that's not like a big deal. And then the rockets. Honestly, the rockets are very secondary. On the Mi-28, it only has the one pod in each stub wing. 122mm rockets, so. They do a lot of damage on the head. It's the same ones that the Mi-17 has. K-52 is obviously the recon one. It does pack the Iglas, which, very good against helicopters. Secondary, you can harass planes with them, but it's not great. I made MTV, that's either down-vetted Spetsnaz or up-vetted VDV-90. The VDV. The Jalo, that's just wheeled gun carrier. It's the AMX-10 RC at home. Or I guess it's not a recon unit, so it's the Vickers Mark 11 at home. But it isn't auto-loaded and has 20 rounds a minute, so it can do some work under the right circumstances. Earl, that's probably Spetsnaz GRU. Could be Spetsnaz VMF, though. Scratch it with a Conqueror's team, OSA AKM, that's the expensive one, so good anti-helo and anti-plane. More plane than helo, but it's got respectable range against both types of flying targets. And since it has 7 HE power, you can potentially one-shot with a crit. Mi-24V. Fob, alright. Yeah, it looks like both players are doing standard mud fight start. Wait, no mortar from the red player by the looks of it. Yeah, anyway, both players are doing pretty standard starts. They're both going for the town between Delta and Alpha. Alright, Milk Tea is MiG-21 Bis. Probably. Nope, Cobra's getting harassed. Don't want to get too aggressive with that K-52. That Patriot's turned off. Cobra went down. Oh, Avenger is firing on something. Mi-24V. That's not a bad pickup. It's an expensive helicopter. Low availability. Oh, Patriot's firing on the Bis. Ooh, gets a hit. Oh, that K-52 is in a bad spot, but it's engaging. Oh, Avenger has no armor, so it's very vulnerable to that gun. But it's reversing away. Has perfect stabs. Oh, Patriot almost eats an anti-radiation missile from the K-52. Yep, Delta Force versus Spetsnaz GRU. Delta Force win that fight unless they get chewed up by fire support. Mi-28 is going to zone out those M1A2s pretty well. Because yeah, this Avenger just doesn't have the range to actually deal with the Mi-28 unless some smoke shenanigans occur. Delta Force just got caught in the open and just getting shredded. Avenger eats that ATGM from something. Just the Stinger left for AA. Abram. That's just eating rounds from the Mi-8. Bradley goes down. Abrams is retreating. Ooh, gap in the smoke. It must be oh, Mi-28 flew within range of the Stinger, gets one hit. And gets out of range. Yeah, more smoke, more smoke. Ooh, Abrams took another hit. Fortunately, it's a super heavy, so it has lots of frontal armor, so these missiles aren't doing huge damage to the front, but taking decent chunks off. And it's angling for the side shot, by the looks of it. We're also trying to stay out of range. Ooh. Patriots only has one missile. 25T is out. Well, LT has purchased a CV for Fox. I want to get that +1 ticking. Ooh, Stinger is caught out. Oh, it's probably being spotted by the Spetsnaz. Or they're just not in cover. Oh, SU-25T eats that one missile, or one hit from the Patriot. Ooh, oh, if Milk Tea stops that Patriot, we can engage the SU-25T. Stinger went down. Patriot goes down. What are you doing, Blue? Oh, Wild Weasel. I guess just using it as a SRAM carrier. Gonna try and dive the Mi-28. Misses its shot on the Mi-28. Now it's being chased by the PD, which is missed. That happens. Mi-28 is out. Okay, Wild Weasel took a hit from the OSA, but now the OSA's out of ammo, and the Mi-28's down. And both M1A2s are still alive. So not a horrible outcome for Blue, but not ideal either. Rangers are not in a great spot there. They should probably be more over there or there, so they have better eyes on things. Yeah, not perfect smoke from Blue there, but they have the right idea, smoking off their super heavy. If you're using super heavies, you've got to have a mortar to smoke them, especially on this map. It's a shame for blue that they didn't stop that Patriot sooner to take out that SU-25T. Because that would have been a good pickup to kill. It's 200 points, 1 per card. You get rid of that, and you're golden. Alright, BRDM3 is just chilling in Foxtrot. At this moment, it literally could drive up and just take out that CV. Cobra's moving over to cover. Alright, see proper use of the fob there. Use it to resupply those MI8s. They're very handy helicopters. Well, the MTV, the MI8. You have the MI8 TV, and it's the MI8T is the other one. Those ones just have the 57mm rockets and are pretty bad. Turbo's just expending all of its rockets, failing to kill the BRDM-3. What do we got over here? M8 MTV. Interesting. Is Melty sending the Abrams all the way back to the fob? Interesting. Do have the Bradley coming out with the Stinger team. Yeah, I'm just not. I'm just not quite sure what our blue players doing here. In this situation, that especially if that Ranger team is a better position, they would be able to know that Red has almost nothing in Delta. That's something where they should be trying to push that, but obviously, I know for certain blue does not know that. Always have to keep that in mind when watching these replays. BMPT coming out. A lot of MI8s from Red. T80UM's not bad. I think the big thing it has, first of all, it's fast, but it also does have those invars, which are pretty good gun launched ATGM. Good range, good accuracy, 50% stabs. AP power's all right. Used to be that the T80UM was seen as just a very suboptimal super heavy to take compared to the T72 BU because it only has 3 top armor versus the BU with 4. But with the nerf to the laser guided bombs from ways back, that changed. And Rifleman popped the BRDM-3. So why you always want to have units covering that. Okay. So red player hoping to do some flanking shenanigans. Also, that Cobra is not very well positioned. It's behind the mountain, so it can't see anything. It should be on the other side of it, so it can actually see over here. There we go. Seeing some more infantry. We've got Rifleman, the M113A3s coming out. Those MI8s could cause a fair bit of trouble unless they fly over the infantry and the M113A3s in the forest. In which case they're just going to get chewed up by machine guns. Oh. What got blown up there? It's just a truck? Yeah, just a truck. Oh hey, somebody in this match does have a supply truck. Oh hey, there you go. Hennets. Oh, there's Factorias in the Scratchets, not Conkers. Huh. Just noticed that. I mean, it's not horrible. You upvet them, so they have slightly better accuracy. They have 16 AP, so they can one-shot 2 armor and do a lot of damage to most other things. And then they're only 10 points, so you can just, and have high availability, you can just spread them about to your heart's content. And yeah, so that Cobra can now see the MI8, most likely. Yep. But is blue paying attention? Wild Weasel. Avenger. Oh, mark this. CV. Oh, are we seeing? Yep, second CV coming out from the red player. Which, you know, good move. Blue's been ticking at +1 for a bit now. They have 101 points to 0. Alright, Avenger gets the MI8. PD's flying around. Should be evacing that now. Unless they're just looking for more helicopters. I don't know. Can't read minds. Anyway, looks like the VDV might run into some riflemen. Which, you know, one-on-one, yeah, VDV take out riflemen, but 2 squads of riflemen plus M113s, if they're micro properly, they'll wreck those VDV pretty well. Oh, VDV literally just only have the RPG-29 on. Well, they're going to kill the M113s, but they're not going to be able to do anything against the infantry. There we go. All the weapons are on now. But now they're only engaging with, actually, well, they got both M113s, so it doesn't matter. Oh, finally a mortar coming out from red. They've had that T-80UM out for a bit, but they haven't really done much with it. Oh yeah, let's send the M1A2s to fight the VDV-90. Great idea. But more M113A3s coming in. VDV are panicked. Alright, they're switching to machine gun off. They're stunned, so they're not long for the world. And they missed a shot. Of course, they have high suppression because it's a big projectile, so it did stun them. Okay. Alright, pair of MiG-25s. What? I just don't understand. Oh, got a hit. Or the Patriot got a hit. It's going to get a kill, though. No, it does not. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Melty was trying to get up to with that Wild Weasel. It's a seed plane. Not even a good one. Oh, it's Su-25T. That's certainly a choice with the the Patriot being out and all, but Patriot's on the move in the open. Yeah, I was evacing it. There you go. Line of units. Yeah, Patriot was spotted. Presumably by the GRU. Oh, Su-24 is out. Patriot is turned off though. And did you have the Stinger C and the Avenger around, so that if red player here is not careful with that Su-24, they could just wind up feeding it into some Stingers. Or when it turns around, the Patriot gets turned on and whacks it. Yep, takes one hit and gone. And that's a waste of MI8s. That's why you don't fly helicopters over forests that you don't control. He's trying to get that Patriot, probably knows that it's only 2 per card and already got one of them. Got greedy and wasted it. Or, well, wasted the MI8s. Sorry, I had to take a sip of tea. T-80UM's moving up. BMPT's there, but there's the 2s. Blue's gone on quite the force together. And was it 19 AP on these guys? Yeah, versus 15 frontal armor. So they won't do huge damage to the BMPT, but they could possibly do a lot of damage to it in a short period of time until they get stunned, obviously, and then shredded. 30mm autocannon plus 30mm grenade launcher. It's pretty good against infantry and light vehicles. No, got base M1s coming out. Hey, M3A2 Bradley CFE. That's a fun one. It's expensive, relatively. It's like 80 points. Low availability, like 4 per card or something like that, 5 per card. But man, it's fun because it's a recon vehicle, so it's very good optics. It has medium stealth, and it has 12 TOW2s that I can fire 2 of before having to reload. It's really good. It's a very good vehicle when used properly. You can basically use it to bully most other recon vehicles. You can use it to just mess up tanks if they don't, you know. Like, that's the thing with the M3A2. It's really good at punishing bad vehicle gameplay when used properly. T64B, it's not bad at the price, but if you're a Soviet deck and you're getting a tank in that price range, I'd say the base T80 is the better option, in my opinion. Okay, MiG-25 PD is out. Just running the cap, I guess, because it can't even engage helicopters. Yeah, can only engage planes. But you know, if it gets a crit, it's going to one-shot most planes, which is fun. Okay, M109A6 Paladin. It's one of the weaker of the high-end artillery pieces, but it's not unusable. Obviously, the value of such artillery pieces is debatable in a 1v1, but it really depends on playstyle and situation. Oh, Scratch, it's shooting up a Cobra. They have terrible accuracy and stabilizer, and they can shoot for like 3 seconds before having to reload. But they're really good at suppressing because they have the high rate of fire, good suppression, or decent suppression. But just combine those two, and yeah, they just stun helicopters. And gone because it gets whacked by the Abrams. Okay, BMD-2K coming out for Alpha. That's a bold move. Seeing as Blue's about to it's looking like his Blue player's about to run over it. But yeah, it's, that is a pressure that is currently on the red player. Is Melty is up 107 points. That is a big difference. The battle is half over, almost. So they have to do something to make up that difference. Ooh, Paladin just snipes their roll. Their Ural? I don't know, I was gonna ask Ural. That's usually how I go, but sometimes I say Ural. Don't know why. Another mortar's out, that's always good. Always good to have a mortar. Then might be out. Do have the MTLB Podnos out, which is a perfectly reasonable 82mm mortar. Yeah. Pretty standard, not a lot to write home about. I think the ammo capacity on it's a little low for an 81mm carrier, or 82. Same thing mechanically in the game. It's not unique in that way. I think if we call it like something like the Lav 81mm Lav mortar that the US gets along with the Bison 81mm, neither of those have particularly high ammo counts. Actually, how much does this have? 72 rounds. But it's also a bigger mortar. Oh wait, aren't they smoking? Okay, providing smoke to the enemy. Makes sense though, that's one of the ways you want to use smoke, is you want to use it to block off the enemy's line of sight. But you do that by blocking off where their supporting fire can come from. So worried about ATGM or spotting from over here, smoke there. Worried about something in the back line, smoke off the back line. Like, this is good use of smoke. Oh, I just noticed there's an erg in there. That's HE, so if it's well directed, or not. Anyway, Abrams are going to work. Bradley's. Oh, I think it's rifle. Yeah, base M2s. Pretty Okay, so red player just tried to use a BM-27 Aragon as counter battery against a mortar. That's I don't want to be mean, but that's a bit of a galaxy brain move right there. Anyway, BMPT got shredded. I think the T-64B went down. T-80UM took a big hit from something. One Amos took a big hit, the other one's a little damaged. 25T? 25T. Patriot is on though, but it's on the move. I don't know if it's attack moving. But there are lots of... Okay, yep, it's firing. Ooh, got stunned, and its missiles are semi-active, and it's gone. That's a good pickup for blue. But Alpha has been captured by red, so now red is taking +1. But I think that might be short-lived unless blue makes a big mistake or red pulls off a real good Hail Mary play against these guys. This is a situation where having the Urigan would be great, you know, get it, you know, fired into the advancing enemy infantry and vehicles and whatnot, and it won't do a lot of killing, but it will stun them, and that will give you a huge advantage because the blue units won't be able to fight back effectively, while the red units will be able to just pick them off at their leisure. But it's too late for that. Also, I did see a CV1 around from blue. Did it go down, though? Okay, there it is. And it's right now, like, this is a situation where blue needs to be aggressive. Just keep pushing, you know. Push until contact. You don't know where your opponent's units are until you go out and find them. So that's why you have to push until contact. Don't just assume that a piece of terrain is occupied or that it's clear. You push. You push it. You send recon, you send infantry, you know, send your units. And don't assume. Actively go out and acquire the information. Oh, Spetsnaz, that's they're great against infantry, but they shit their pants against a 5-point lunchbox. Like, you know, M113A3. Like, they'll do, like, you know, they have 5 HE power, so against a 1 or 2 armor vehicle, they'll, you know, especially 1 armor, you know, they'll do 5 damage, I do believe, against 1 armor. Only like 1.5 or 2 damage against 2 armor, but, you know, they'll do some damage. But it's a waste of ammo, it's very inefficient. More smoke. Or they see what's happening over here and are shouting it. Yeah, they're getting shelled. Looks like it's not quite on the money, though. It's gonna. There's no line of sight for blue on that, or no direct line of sight probably, so this is going to be uncorrected, I think. Okay, definitely getting some pushing here, but once again, blue needs to be a bit more aggressive. MI-28. This is not the situation where you want an MI-28. Like, you know, like line of sight for AA against helicopters and Alpha can be really fucky, but the thing is, like, you don't want to be rolling the dice with something as expensive as an MI-28, especially expensive and low availability. Also, what's the Urigan doing? Because this is prime target for an Urigan strike. And you got the pod nose firing. Personally, if I'm taking a Soviet 81mm mortar, I'm taking the Vasilik, because that's just fun. Fires off a burst and then moves. It's very, or well, all mortars do that, but it fires it's off pretty quickly. Anyway, VDV-90 are currently drowning in a wave of riflemen. Which, yeah, that's right. Usually it's base riflemen and M113A3s, but also, you know, you combine it with rifleman 90 for that better AT, and yeah, you can just drown the enemy in infantry and M113s. Anyway, counter cap's about to come from a Nauti on blue team, which will put the acquisition at 0 for both players. But Milk Tea doesn't just need to counter cap Alpha, it needs to get the kill on that BMD 2K. 107 to 73, that's a fairly slim margin. Oh. Factory is firing and gets hit on the Brad. Alright, they have 3 armor. It's out of ammo there. Oh, there you go, BM27's firing. Is it on the money? Looks like it's a little too far back now. It does stun the Abrams though. Oh. Factory just ate a 155mm shell to the face. Oh, lots of VDV-90. Oh, there you go, there you go. Ooh, did they split fire on the area? Very nice. See, that's a bit better targeted. Rifleman just getting absolutely messed up. That's how you use a BM-27. Well, the HE ones. And one Abrams, I think it just got double tapped there. They already took damage from the Bergen. Anyway, wave of Mi-8s, but there are Stingers about. Is that Avenger Slope as well? Yes, it is. Oh, that's an unfortunate miss. And also the Stingers are in the open, so it's probably been spotted. Oh, IHawk, Pip 3, interesting. That's the expensive low availability one that has good range against planes and helicopters. It's a multi-purpose unit, but it really pays a lot for that anti-helicopter range that's often of dubious utility. But, you know, you can see it coming in handy here, so obviously your mileage will vary. And there's the weakness of the Avenger, it just dies so easily to rockets. Anyway, Blue's now on the back foot here in Alpha. The M151, A1 has to relocate so it doesn't get whacked by VDV-90. Spetsnaz are going to be... Spetsnaz and VDV-90 in the forest are a tough combo to deal with. Spotted. The IHawk and 727. See, this is the opposite. You want your infantry fighting the VDV and your vehicles fighting the Spetsnaz. Oh, but that CS gets the chance to fire. That's... yeah. Always funny. Alright. Counter cap's back up in Alpha, so now it's only 107 to 80. God, these are just going for it, I guess. Oh, Abrams putting the fire on the VDV. IHawk's taking fire, but oh, they're repositioning. See, this is the problem with the IHawk. That's honestly the biggest weakness. Is like, yeah, they only have 3 rounds, but that's solvable. Oh, Su-24 just ate a shot from the Patriot because it has longer range. Evac ordered. Yeah, it's going to be a while before that thing's back out. Oh, but the Patriot gets another shot and gets the kill, so that's no more seed for the red player. Unless they brought 2 cards, which is unusual. Oh, mortars and arrogant fire, so that's looking to be a good arrogant strike. What's going to get the IHawks? Patriots out of there. IHawks are, and they're just stunned or panicked. Yeah, this is the biggest weakness of the Hawk, as I was saying, is that, yeah, it's low ammo count, but also, oh, Su-25T. I thought it died. Or is it 2 for? No, now I can't remember what the availability on that thing is. Pretty sure it got shot down earlier. Eh, whatever. It did not seem to achieve much. Hey, F-16C, there we go. Blue players temporarily on the back foot, but now they have a wave of riflemen and M113s. So, yeah, I think if they do it properly, they could basically just run over these guys. Oh. MiG Su-27 or Su-27PU and MiG-25s, that's not looking good for that block. Yeah, evac. A little late for the evac. Patriots out of ammo, Pips are out of ammo. That's, yeah, just free kill against the F-16. Not exactly well played from the blue player. They should have, if they had that F-16 out for cap, they should have kept it way in the back line, not over the front line like that. But also sometimes the ASS will just wander over the front line when as soon as you turn your attention away, even if you don't want them to. Looks like these guys all got their transports popped. But they have the Browns providing fire support. So that will add some fire. Oh wait, no, there's still some M113s left. More M113s. Oh, VDV catching out those M113s. Oh, but there's the Rangers and the Riflemen. M2A2 has delays. Bushmaster, yeah. Does this have the early? Yes, it does. Yeah, there's two different Bushmaster ones. You have one that's... Basically, the early one has slightly worse accuracy and stabilizer than the later one. It's not a huge difference. And I-28's still chilling. Oh, Command M1 Abrams. Probably going to drop that in Delta. Probably will be spotted, though. That is the problem with Command tanks, is that they're not, you know, well, any Command vehicles, that in Delta they're hard to hide because they're just easier to spot than Command infantry. Regular Spetsnaz have gone down. Spetsnaz Yuri are by themselves. They're alone and they're scared. Getting smoked. They're choking on white phosphorus. Also, 2 stack of T-64Bs. And 1A2s are just chilling in the back there. They need to be fixed up. Oh, that's almost out of fuel. And it's almost out of ammo. Oh, the Ural's been spotted. They're taking fire. And two Bradley's just missing with their tow. The base tow just is not very good. Oh, that Abrams had... Oh, yeah. Okay, Abrams is engaging the VDV. But not for very long. Oh, and yeah. ATGM fight. Yeah, T-64 is going to win that pretty handily. Cobra's not great, but it has decent AP for the price. Oh. Wow. Weasel out for fun, I guess. Oh, turbine failure. That's an automatic evac. And it gets whacked by the Su-27PU, which just got whacked by the Patriot and the Pips. That's not good. That's a one. Pretty sure that was upfetted, so I'm pretty sure that'd be one per card. BDV gone. T-64Bs are now getting bullied by the M1A2s. Blue has taken the town here. I'm gonna put some Delta Force in it. Alright, Su-25T's out. And Pips are out. Patriot only has one missile. There's the Avenger, though, so if the Su-25 gets too aggressive, it will have a bad time. Miss. Just nothing but misses. Okay, it's gonna take a couple hits. Just one. That's some very fortuitous luck for that Su-25T. It could have gone absolutely wrecked there. This MiG-25 PD ate a missile from something. Either a Patriot, or either from the Patriot or from one of the Hawks. It's just circling. And they're only worried now. They're fine. Oh, there you go. Arrogance coming in a little late, but M163 CS just ate the Spetsnaz. Can Blue see that Earl? Yes, they can. It's getting shelled at the moment. I think the mortar might be firing on it. No hits, but it is forcing it to move, so it can't resupply. Mi-24V's flying around. Looks like it's going to go for the Cobras. Gets one of them, and it's about to fly over some riflemen. Oop, and the CS is engaging it. Yeah, that's yeah, 100 points to kill a, what, 55 point recon helicopter and damage a second one. That's value for money. Might have seen the M150. the M151, so that's moving. Oh, TAUM. Another one. I didn't even see the first one die. But I think the Abrams got it. Current score is 124 to 80. It's because the Command Abrams is in Delta. And that with the counter cap, back to +1 for Milk Tea. And my 28 is coming back for round 2. Okay, just a 3-stack of VDV 90. Oops, at the Oregon aiming again. Yep. Is that 2 cards of Hemets that blue has? So they've definitely called out a fair number of them. Or but they also, have a fob so that they can resupply the Hemets at. See the Paladin's firing. I don't know if it's targeted or if it's just blind firing for fun. Having a little bit of an effect on the VDV, but not a huge one. Guessing the Mi-28 wants to go for the Command Abrams. Oh, got the Avengers out. Oh, longbow. Not a lot of AA from the red player. They literally just had that one OSA. They do have the Mi-24Vs, but they lost 2 of them, and you don't get that many of those per card. They're 100 points. I think you get 3 or 4? Ooh, that OSA's in danger. Longbow's pushing forward, probably trying to go for the TAUM. There you go. There's the second K52. That's 2 per card. Oh, and the Su-25T. Patriot and Hawks have been resupplied, but they're a little far away from the Su-25T. Oh, yeah, but evacing. And 382. Oh, its toes turned off. It's missed its opportunity to put the hurt on. Oh. What are you doing? I guess they were concerned about the Mi-28 detecting it, but like having the toes turned off on the M3A2 is just kind of missing out on like the main attraction on that thing. But the longbow's there for the assist. It's wrecked all the BTRs. KDUM's engaging the Avenger. And missing. Oh, Su-25T's back out. Is it going for the Bradley? Is Chatty gonna die? No. Oh. Is it or is he trying to dive the longbow with it? And it's gone. Oh, looks like Red has surrendered. Alrighty, so M1911 Milk Tea was victorious with 172 conquest points to the Red player's 80. Red player had 1,730 kills, or points worth of kills, whatever. And 1911 Milk Tea had 3,195. That was an interesting match. The red player definitely came out on top in the opener somewhat. They took the town. They just didn't quite capitalize on it. It took them a while to reinforce it. They spent a lot of points on planes. And also they ran into the common problem that USSR has, is that not very good at infantry grinding. Like basically your best grinding infantry is BDV 75 in the BTRD, which is a 20-point combo, or 25-point combo. 5 for the transport, 20 for the infantry. It's not a horrible transport, and VDV 75 are perfectly fine infantry. Their AT weapons, the infantry weapon's not horrible. Like its AP power is lacking for a 20-point shock, but it has good accuracy, so it gets hits reliably, especially with the veterancy bonus that VDV VDV as shock have. So like it's reliable. It's just not dealing huge damage. Aside from that, yeah, it's just, and then yeah, you had Spetsnaz. I know that I am quite biased against units like Spetsnaz, like Spetsnaz. What Lujan? I'm blanking on the name of the Chinese special forces with the napalm launcher. Their elite infantry. And then also Polish Formosa, U.S. Navy SEALs, like those anti-infantry specialist elite infantry. I'm not a fan of, because you have to babysit them. You have to make sure that they have support with them. Like generally, you shouldn't just have elite infantry off by themselves, because that's how you just get them focused down by fire support. You want regular shock infantry with them to give them some support. But other, the problem is that, with other elite infantry, with, the regular ones, if you leave them alone, you can't just overrun them with 5-point transports. Like, they will chew up, even ones that don't have a great anti-tank weapon, doesn't have 16 AP. They'll still chew up, any 5-point transport in the game that you send after them. But with the anti-infantry specialists, like, they will, like I said in the match, they will do damage. And depending, they can do a fair bit of damage, especially against a 5-point transport with only 1 armor. But like, yeah, I guess like M113A3s, or if you get Zeldas, or K200. This is what happens when you don't play the game for a while. You forget the unit names. But like the South Korean M113 with the 2 front and side armor, and the 50 and the 7.62 machine gun. That the ones the slightly worse Zelda. It's still one of the best 5-pointers in the game. But yeah, like any of those, like 5-pointer with 2 armor and a 50, like, yes, they're a relatively dangerous vehicle in their own right in any situation. They're useful fire support. But against like Spetsnaz, they're a terror for Spetsnaz, because like, yeah, Spetsnaz will stun one of them, will shred one of them, but they're just going to get run over by them, because they just can't kill them very quickly, or at all. They'll stun them and panic them, because the napalm launchers have very high suppression, but it's just a unit that requires micro and attention to use properly. You have to pair it with VDV 90, and like, yeah, and I said during the match, VDV 90 and Spetsnaz classic combination absolutely wrecks face in a forest fight when you micro it properly, but you have to micro it properly. It's not like it's hard to micro it properly. You just have to basically just need to make sure the VDV 90 and the Spetsnaz are close together and attack moving together. And you probably just turn off the machine gun on the Spetsnaz, or on the you might want to turn the machine gun off on the Spetsnaz to make sure they use the napalm launcher. But on the VDV 90, turn off their machine gun so that they're using the RPG 29, and they'll wreck any vehicle that they run into, while the Spetsnaz wreck any infantry. Keep them together like that, you're golden. But you didn't see that a lot from the red player. They had the Spetsnaz and the VDV 90 quite separate from each other for the most part. And what that allows is, it just, like, VDV 90 by themselves are pretty okay. They're not the greatest shock for fighting other infantry, especially other shock. Like, they'll take up, like basically any shock unit, they'll take apart rifle infantry, no problem, regular infantry. But they're not great against other shock. Not terrible, just not great. A lot of other shock infantry in the game will beat them in a one-on-one fight. Yeah. So that's that. Yeah, the red player didn't start out with a mortar, which was just, you on mud fight you want a mortar, even if you're not running a super heavy, because especially if you're doing the standard mud fight opener where both players go for that town between Alpha and Delta, you want to have a mortar there so you can smoke off the enemy's fire support. Obviously, that didn't hurt the red player too much because they did win the opener for the most part. The part of that was maybe just very awkward unit. Trying to remember back to the beginning. Yeah, not a lot of infantry from the blue player because they took 2 M1A2s and they were very light everywhere else. So like there is very much a moment in time where the red player, if they were aggressive with that BRDM3, they could have caused a lot of trouble for blue. If they'd been aggressive with that BRDM3 over in the top at the top of the map from the perspective I was watching it from. Oh yeah. Red could have been a little bit better with their BM27 strikes. I wasted that first salvo from it trying to counter battery a mortar. Not acidity. And doing counter battery on mortars can be very useful if you can get the hits. But the thing is, it's hard if you don't have direct eyes on a mortar. It's hard to do counter battery on them. If you get eyes on them, especially if you have a cluster artillery piece, you can possibly put the hurt on them. But if you have eyes on the enemy mortars, obviously having eyes makes anything easier. But the problem is mortars are just very good at shooting and moving, especially if you cue them to do it. Shift cue them. So it's just not an optimal move to make. And also, by firing the BM27 at that time, it cost the red player the opportunity to use it against that big push that blue was preparing for. If they just waited, a minute, not even, they would have seen that big blue push coming in through Delta. Or is it? I can never remember which spawn's which. The forested one. Saw that push coming. Could have, fired the BM27 at that, and that, stunned the hell out of them. Not, would have done some damage, obviously, but mostly would have stunned them. And that would have completely taken the wind out of that push and probably would have allowed red to hold on a bit better. And you could just see a little bit of back and forth, like the blue push, ran out of steam and kind of just got a little too spread out and just started getting picked off in detail. And then, red reinforcements came in, pushed back. But by that point, another wave of blue infantry, and that's, one of the strengths of the US deck is you can get, the rifleman, the M113A3, you can just spam that for days and just overrun an enemy. Just have, some fire support to give them some real bite to them. And that's what we saw, just a ton of Rifleman 90 and the M113A3s and the M2 Bradleys. Backed up with, the M1A2s, there's some regular M1s. A lot of AA. And that's the other thing for Red is that they spent a lot of points on planes. They spent a lot more points on planes compared to the blue player. And they didn't use them very well. And that cost them a lot of points that could have been better, allocated elsewhere. And just kind of a failure on the red player to capitalize on their kind of winning the opener to a certain extent at the beginning. And also just not being very aggressive elsewhere. Like this happens a lot in mud fight. I'm very much guilty of it, You just get that tunnel vision on that the town and the area around the town, and you forget that, there's a whole other half to the map that you can try to push. And, if you notice, hey, I'm focusing really hard on that town, on that area. My opponent seems to be focusing really hard on that area. Just take a moment, spend a few points on, like, some recon units and maybe some infantry, and just try and probe on the other side of the map and see how far you can get. And yeah, I think you did see that a little bit, that BRDM-3 running face first into the Rifleman 90 at the very top of the map, but that was something that was already out on the field, I do believe, and just got, moved there. Yeah, but sometimes you gotta try to, do it a little different. And even if it doesn't necessarily work out for you, you might cause your opponent to panic and overcommit to trying to reinforce that side of the map, which will relieve pressure on the other side. Obviously, that's not a guarantee. You can't just assume your opponent's going to react in a certain way. Oh yeah, but I'm probably dragging this on long enough, so I'll call it here. I'm Xander Turon, and this was Random Cast episode 51, if I haven't lost count. I'll catch you in the next video. In the meanwhile, take care and have a lovely day.